Hello and welcome back. Data ownership is becoming an increasingly hot topic in the world of AI, and today we're diving deep into it. You might have heard about generative AI, these amazing systems that can create realistic images, write different kinds of creative content, and even translate languages. But to work their magic, AI needs a massive amount of data to train on. That's where things get interesting. Companies collect our data all the time, but who really owns it? And do we have any control over how it's used? A recent TechCrunch article mentioned that everyone from big tech firms to startups, AI makers are licensing ebooks, images, videos, audio, and more from data brokers, all in the pursuit of training up more capable and more legally defensible AI powered products. Shutterstock has deals with Meta, Google, Amazon, and Apple to supply millions of images for model training, while OpenAI has signed agreements with several news organizations to train its models on news archives. In many cases, the individual creators and owners of that data haven't seen a dime of the cash changing hands. Well, a new startup called Vana is trying to change that. Anna Kozlowska's and Arda Ball, two classmates at the MIT Media Lab, came together and co-founded Vana in 2021. They're offering a way for users to actually rent out their data, specifically data from Reddit. But here's the twist. Vana uses a DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization, to put users in control. I'll explain exactly what a DAO is in just a moment. Intrigued? Let's break it down. The problem: who owns your data? Think about it. How much time do you spend online, scrolling through social media or browsing websites? All that activity generates a ton of data about you, your interests, and your habits. Big tech companies are really good at collecting this data, and they use it for all sorts of things, from targeted advertising to developing new products. The problem is, most of us have very little control over how our data is used. We often just click accept on those long and confusing privacy agreements without really understanding what we're agreeing to. There's a growing concern that big tech isn't always transparent about data usage, and there's always the risk of our data being misused or even breached. On top of that, there's a whole industry of data brokers who buy and sell our information without us even knowing about it. It's kind of a wild west out there when it comes to our data. Vana's solution, the Reddit Data DAO. Vana is trying to flip the script on data ownership. They say users should be able to benefit from the value of their data, not just big corporations. Here's how it works. You can connect your Reddit account to Vana, and instead of just giving your data away for free, you can choose to rent it out. Vana collects this data from users who opt in, but here's the cool part. That data is then pooled together in a DAO. So what's a DAO? Imagine an online community where everyone has a say in how things are run. Decisions are made through voting, and everyone who contributes to the DAO gets a vote. In Vana's case, the DAO is made up of users who've rented out their Reddit data. This is where things get interesting. By pooling your data in a DAO, you get a say in how it's used. The DAO votes on things like who can access the data and for what purposes. Maybe a company wants to use the data to train an AI that can better understand online communities. Or maybe researchers want to study online trends. The DAO would vote on whether to approve these requests. Is a data DAO realistic? It sounds pretty cool, right? But before you jump in and rent out all your Reddit data, there are some things to consider. DAOs are a relatively new concept, and there are some challenges to think about. First, there's the issue of user participation. Will enough people actually join the DAO to make it effective? If participation is low, then a small group of people could end up controlling how everyone's data is used. Second, there are questions about how to ensure fair and ethical data usage. Even with a DAO voting system, there's always the risk that someone could misuse the data. Vana would need to have strong safeguards in place to prevent this. Finally, there's the ever-present risk of data breaches. No matter how secure a system is, there's always a chance that hackers could try to steal the data. But the TechCrunch article raised another huge question. Can any profit-driven company really be trusted not to abuse or mishandle any monetizable data it gets its hands on? In response to that question, Kozlowska's stressed that the whole point of Vana is for users to reclaim control over their data, noting that Vana users have the option to self-host their data rather than store it on Vana's servers and control how their data is shared with apps and developers. She also argued that because Vana makes money by charging users a monthly subscription, starting at $3.99, and levying a data transaction fee on devs, for example, for transferring data sets for AI model training, The company is disincentivized to exploit users and the troves of personal data they bring with them. We want to create models owned and governed users who all contribute their data, Kozlowski said, and allow users to bring their data and models with them to any application. So, what is the future of user owned data? While Vana's approach to data ownership is definitely innovative, it raises some interesting questions about the future of data collection and how we can take back control of our online information. Is a DAO based system like Vana's a viable alternative to the way things are done now? It's too early to say for sure, but it's a step in the right direction. If users have more control and can potentially profit from their data, it could change the way AI is developed and used. So, what does this all mean for you? Vana's concept offers a glimpse into a future where users have more agency over their data. It's important to weigh the potential benefits, transparency, control, and even shared profits against the challenges like user participation and data security. Here are some things you can do. Learn more about data privacy. There are many resources available online that can help you understand your rights and how to manage your data. Consider joining a DAO or data collective. Vana might not be the only player in this space. Research other options that align with your values. Stay informed. The conversation around data ownership is constantly evolving. Keep yourself updated on the latest developments and how they might affect you. Ultimately, the question of who owns your data is one that will continue to be debated. Vana's DAO model is a bold experiment, and it will be interesting to see how it plays out. If you like seeing this sort of content, subscribe to the channel as we will continue to explore all things AI. What do you think about Vana's approach? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.